Hi. In the previous videos, we've created a database. In that database, we've added a table, and in that table, we've added some data from an Excel file. We also added a dashboard application, which has a home page, some insights into the data, and an overview of all the logs with the ability to add new ones, edit existing ones, and download all the data. We also added an API, so other systems can access our application. In this particular demo, we want to consume an API. So just imagine that this API is actually not ours, but it is hosted on a remote server by a remote system, a third party. And we want to consume this API. So we want to be able to get the time trackings, create new time trackings and stuff like that via this API. We can take the Swagger file itself. We can go to Actions. We take the Swagger URL. We click Add Swagger. We give it a name, time tracking for example, and we paste the URL. As you can see, the time tracking Swagger has been added. We see the same methods appear here, and we can choose which methods we want to use. For example, let's use the get and the post and use one of the insights, for example, the revenue by company. We can see that the services are added here. Let's open them. For example, the get time trackings, and we can run it. As you can see, we get our information back from the remote service. We can also add a new time tracking. For example, we could use a date, a duration in hours, a user, let's take Clancy Wiggum again, the price being some number, and some company. Let's run it. We get the OK back. If we now run the list again, let's add a parameter for the order by. Let's order by date, descending. Let's run it. And we should see our entry appear here. Now that we have these services from our remote server, we can actually also expose them in the dashboard. Let's go to the dashboard and let's add a new page called Remote Insights. Let's put it at the path remote. If you go to this page, we can actually take the connector, take these services, and just do the same as we did before with Insights. We drop it. We can again choose what kind of visualization we want. So let's choose the aggregate chart again. And we get the same pie chart as we did before. We can do the same to, for example, the time trackings. And let's add it as a table, as we did before. As you can see, the data is again added. We can do the same thing like remove all the unnecessary fields. So all of this remains the same. If we save and exit edit mode, you can see that we have our table. We also have the paging, so we can jump to another page. And we can also sort by date, for example. The only major difference is now this table is not being fed by our own application, but instead it is actually going through a Swagger connection to a remote server that is hosting the data. To illustrate the difference slightly better, in the previous demo, we had our browser, which connects to the Nabu server, and the Nabu server directly connects to the database. That's how we did it before. In this demo, with the connector, we actually use the connector here to go to the remote server. And the remote server can then access the database or do something else. We don't really care at that point. We call it over a REST service. Once again, this demo serves as only an introduction into how we can consume APIs. We can consume, for example, other types of APIs like SOAP. We can do custom processing on the data before we send it to the browser. There's lots of things we can add to this use case. The demos so far have barely scratched the surface of what you can do with the platform. And in the next video, we're going to dig deeper. See how we can use all these tools to build truly complex applications capable of solving any business problem. I hope it was interesting. See you next time.